All right, in the co-main event of UFC 290, once again at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Alexandre Pantoja stamps his name in the history books, capturing the UFC flyweight title by defeating Brandon Moreno for the third time? Yes?
Yep. Correct.
Yep.
Getting a split decision over the baby assassin. The scores read 48-47 on two scorecards in favor for Pantoja. Moreno earning a 49-46 of his own, which had some people scratching their heads. Omar, how did you think the fight went? Do you feel that a split was warranted? Did you see it for Pantoja in a unanimous sense? And what was your impressions of both men's performances overall?
Yeah, man, this was obviously a rough, emotional fight for me to watch. I'm a big Moreno fan. I wanted to watch this fight back again. I thought Moreno got a lot of the better exchanges between the two of them on the feet. They were both bloodied up. They were both pretty beat up by the end of the fight. But I thought Moreno's hands were landing a lot cleaner. I do know that now we all know that Moreno had a broken arm, I think, in round one. His
Arm
right
or
arm.
hand?
Hand, sorry.
Yeah.
Was broken in round one. So you could see him favoring his left a lot throughout that fight, especially later on in the fight. He was doing a lot of left shovel hooks to the body and then left hooks to the head. A lot of those combinations were going in, and Pantoja was fucking blocking none of them. I thought it was a great performance from both guys, to be honest. I thought they're both dogs. I thought it was a very close fight. I had Moreno winning, but I get it. I did not have Moreno winning 4-1.
Wait, you had Moreno winning the fight?
I did. That's why I said I wanted to watch the fight again.
Wow. All right.
Because you did not seem to think that at all.
No.
I didn't remember that you said that.
Yeah. But, yeah. Anyway, I didn't think that he won the fifth round, which I think is one of the rounds that one of those judges scored for Moreno. I definitely don't think he won 4-1. I thought it was 3-2. I thought going into the fifth round, I thought Moreno had already won the fight on the cards personally, but the fifth round was definitely for Pantoja. There's no question about that.
So wait, I'm sorry. You scored what for Moreno? 2, 3, and 4 is what you did?
I believe so. Yes.
He says with his tail between his legs. He's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's hey.
But again, I want to watch it again because I know for me there were frustrations between the dynamic of how the ground game was working because there wasn't to me as much damage on the ground done as there was on the feet in a lot of those exchanges with Moreno and Pantoja. There was a shit ton of ground control, which you can't deny. But I thought the damage that both of them did to each other throughout that fight, and especially Moreno to Pantoja in certain situations where Pantoja had more control in the round, I thought Moreno had done more damage. So I think that's really where the fight got a little weird. It looks like majority of people scored it from Pantoja, so yeah, I guess it's the hill I'm going to die on.
Mark,
Well,
talk
you'll
to
have
us.
to rewatch it. And hey, if you
Yeah,
come
talk
with
to
the same
us.
take, I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
Talk to us, Mark,
Mike, you're
about
hearing
your
me on a
take of the
delay again.
fight.
It sucks.
I'm on such a fucking delay. I hate it.
It's so painful. I don't know how we fucking solve this. It's every week.
I know.
Yeah, I feel like I might talk for a year about this fight, but here we go. This fight was insanity. Yet another all-time classic given to us from Brandon Moreno. Pantoja now gets to etch his name onto the list of legendary fights. This thing was amazing. The damage that both of these guys took through the course of this fight, specifically the amount of strikes that Pantoja endured to finally become a champion, was incredible. And it was a car crash from the opening bell. Pantoja likes to fight that way now. We know that, where he just comes out and he tries to run you over. But Brandon Moreno ain't a guy that gets run over. And he was ready to throw heat back. And he was doing just that in round one. But Pantoja kept coming forward right into the heavy artillery that was coming at him from Moreno. And he did that all fight long. That was really one of the stories of this fight, is the way Pantoja just refused to stop moving forward no matter what. But I'll probably circle back to that. But in round one, he dropped Moreno real bad with the left, busts him up, and for a split second, I thought he was going to get him out of there. The way Moreno fell looked kind of bad. But credit to Moreno, man. He's so tough, and soon enough, he's back on the feet, exchanging again. But obviously, round one was a Pantoja round. Then round two, Moreno shows you what a champion he is and comes back to have his biggest round of the whole fight easily. He was absolutely jabbing Pantoja's face off. He takes his back at one point, and all the commentary can talk about at this point is the energy levels of Pantoja and how he thought he was going to end it early, and he came out too hard, and he's slowing down, and he's never been to a fourth round, and blah, blah, blah. You know, all the other ways that they can say the same thing. And Alexandre Pantoja proceeded to go to war for 15 more minutes after that, never slowing down, never even considering not pushing through to find the moments that he needed to ensure that he would be a champion. So that was awesome. Back to the rounds. Round three, he rushes Moreno early to secure the clinch after kind of getting beat on in round two, so he can push for that takedown, and he takes the back, which was brilliant of him to try to come out hot and do that. And makes Moreno defend the choke for a while. And just through that, he kind of took the momentum back when it felt like it was swinging wildly away from him. And on the feet, he was doing anything he could to score. Like I said, he was walking forward willingly saying, I'm going to eat 2 shots right now just to create an opening so I can get 2 off. Like it was almost that was the way he was creating openings, was willingly walking into Moreno shots. And he was trying to mix to the body and all that. He was doing well. And then he got another takedown late to in my mind, ensure round 3 for him and have him up 2-1. Round 4 was definitely the least exciting round of the fight. Live, I gave it to Pantoja just based on control. But on the rewatch, I actually thought Moreno did enough damage in that round, especially late in that round. There was a really big elbow late to swing it his way. So live, I had it 4-1 Pantoja. On the rewatch, I actually did have it 3-2. And 2 out of the 3 judges scored it exactly the same way. They had it, we'll forget the one judge. We'll get back to that person. But 2 of the 3 judges had it 2-2 going into round 5, all to play for, as Michael Bisping would say. And Pantoja came out, and he took round 5. There was no slowdown from this man, no slippage, just a war from both guys. And in that round, Pantoja exchanged evenly on the feet. He got a big takedown. He took the back. He landed a few little shots here and there from the back. He couldn't land a ton, but he did enough to take the round and to take the fight. It was 48-47 Pantoja. Personally, I think saying 49-46 Pantoja is more acceptable than saying Moreno won. I'm curious for Omar to rewatch and listen to his argument if he feels differently. I think the judge that had it 49-46 for Moreno is an embarrassment and should have whoever – was it a girl or a guy? I didn't even look at who it was. I think I have it open now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, I guess I closed it.
It's a guy. It was Ben Cartilage.
Ben Cartilage should fucking not judge a fight for a hot minute. I don't think you can score 1, 3, or 5 from Moreno personally. I think absolutely the right man won. And I think people need to celebrate Alexandre Pantoja and give him his due. He walked through fire in this fight. The man has never heard the word quit, and he earned every single ounce of that title belt. And I love Moreno. How can you not? But I am very happy for Alexandre Pantoja.
Amen. Yeah, especially hearing about his family stuff right after. He said his dad abandoned them, and then he looked into the camera with weepy eyes and was like, "Are you proud of me now, Dad?" or something like that. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
I
don't know the whole story.
I know.
Yes,
I know. Dude. I knew in that moment how fucked up I was because in that moment I was like, man, fuck that guy. How old are you, bro? If he ain't loving you yet, fuck that guy. I would have been on the camera like, hey, Dad, fuck you, man. That's how I feel about that. But I get it. He just wants his dad to love him. I get it.
Omar
but
was
I
going
just
through it emotionally on this card. He was ready.
This was not.
How are we at this point? And others, it wasn't a good night for Omar.
My wife legitimately asked me if I was okay. After this fight specifically too, she was like, "Are you okay?" I was like,
"Did you
dude,
hear
the Yasmin one killed me, man."
Did you hear too that Pantoja was driving for Uber Eats?
I did.
Fight back when he fought Brandon Royval. What a fucking story, man. Good for this guy.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. Hopefully now he'll earn a nice fat paycheck now that he's champ and will defend the belt.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
So can we
let's
like
now
run it back then, or
turn our attention to what is next for these two gentlemen. Do you guys think that we're going to rematch, or does Moreno have to kind of get back in line a little bit and go earn himself another win in the division? What do you think, Mark?
As much as I would love to say let's run it right back, since it was friggin' awesome, it is now 3-0 in favor of Pantoja, and they're all in MMA. This isn't some Izzy Pereira kickboxing situation. It's all MMA. So I do think maybe we see a fourth just because of the circumstances and what this fight was like and who Brandon Moreno is. But I think he may have to earn it with at least a win, if not another, to get there. So I think you got to wait a little bit. And in that case, I do kind of think it's going to be Amir Albazi. You know, you don't love it considering the gift of a decision that he got, but Pantoja already beat Royval, and he's really the only other guy who's right there for the title. Maybe they do say let's do that rematch now, but I feel like it's easier to say we'll go with the fresh opponent in Albazi. So I don't know. We'll see. Kopp is already booked against Cara France. Figgy's moving up. So my guess is we get Pantoja and Albazi.
Still a great fight. What do you think, Omar? Any other fresh ideas?
no? I mean, there's not a lot of flexibility right now at the top of that division. Everything is kind of where it's at. The titles have been, you know, I don't want to say held up because we have gotten some legendary fights between Davis and Figueiredo and Moreno for a little while now.
And now this fight too.
But there hasn't been a lot of movement though. So I think we're kind of at a point now where, you know, if we are going to not run it back, I think that's probably the best thing that they could do at this point.
Okay, what about Viva Mexico, the baby-faced assassin Brandon Moreno? Omar, what do you think? What if you were the matchmaker for the UFC? What would you do next with the assassin baby?
I mean, he's fought a lot of these guys already. It's been a few years here and there, nothing too crazy. But we do have Matthias Nicolau, who's number 6 in the division. He hasn't fought Brandon Moreno. If we're not again going to run it back, maybe that's something that they can consider.
Mark?
I'll say if Brandon Royval does not get the title shot and it does go to Albazi and they can convince Brandon that he is going to have to take another fight, that you could book that one, considering their first fight ended because of an injury and is unresolved. So maybe Royval would jump at that chance. If that doesn't work out, I also think if Manel Kopp is to beat Kai Kara France, that Moreno and Kopp could be a pretty awesome fight as well.
Yeah, man. Sure would. All right, well, let us move on in the interest of time. Congrats, huge congrats to Alexandre Pantoja. I'll echo what Omar said. Fuck that guy's dad. But also, I get it.